the question, which is a serious question, and therefore should not be answered in any sort of joking way, really is what we call double predestination. The easy side of talking about predestination is to talk about the way in which God has elected some sinners to life. God has determined from eternity to give the gift of life and faith to some sinners. The hard part of talking about election is related to this question. Is it also true then that God has decided in eternity not to give the gift of faith to some and to leave them in their sins? And we believe as Reformed people that is what the Scripture teaches. It is a somewhat disturbing doctrine. Even Calvin referred to it as the decretum horribile, the horrible decree. And it's a horrible decree because those of us who know Jesus are confronted with the reality we might not have been chosen to faith. And it should humble us before God and fill us with gratitude that He has acted in our hearts. But the Scripture really makes very clear that some are not elected to faith. And the great example of that is Judas, who, although fellowshipping with Jesus, knowing Jesus, hearing Jesus, was lost because he was a son of perdition, because he had not been chosen to faith. And I think the reason it is important to believe that, and the reason that the Scripture teaches it, because I believe the Scripture doesn't teach anything that is not spiritually profitable. And some people have said, well, there's no spiritual profit in knowing that some people are not elected to life. The spiritual profit of knowing about Judas is to know that Jesus did not fail with Judas. Judas did not frustrate the plan of Jesus or the plan of the Father. Jesus always succeeds in what he's doing. And that's important for us to be comforted that he who began a good work in us will bring it to completion in the day of the Lord. So it is a comforting doctrine to us. And for anyone who is not believing, and for anyone who is perhaps wondering, am I one of the non-elect? Am I one of the reprobate? The word of the gospel goes to you now. Come and believe, and when you believe, you'll know that you're elect.